Hello everybody, it's Kate here for this week's Spotfire session. It's great to have you here with me. Today I want to talk to you, there we go, there's midday. Today I want to talk to you about generous leadership. And I refer to Captain, My Captain. So in the movie Dead Poets Society, John Keating is the wonderful teacher who comes in. He's an outsider. He comes in and he completely transforms a group of teenage boys who come from all walks of life, who are struggling with a whole heap of different things. And he unites them and he inspires them and he engages them and motivates them. And suddenly they change their outlook from being one of a typical teenage kid to being one who is passionate about poetry and literature and looking at things differently. And the beautiful thing about that character that is such an inspiration is that John Keating does all of this with love. So at no stage is the John Keating character cruel, demanding, manipulative, none of those things. The character inspires this group of teenage boys to love literature because he himself loves literature and he takes them on this wonderful journey. And as leaders, what I see on a regular basis is people who have some inspiration. They love what they do, but they're not sure how to bring people with them. So instead of inspiring and motivating people, what they often do is they turn on the people they need to help them because they're not quite sure how to get them to do that. The best way to get people to go with you is to bring them with you. It's to teach them that how to do it, and it's also to treat them with love and respect, and to not be critical, but to anticipate people will fail and then they're going to pick themselves up again and they will learn. One of the things that I see on a very regular basis with a lot of leaders is they think that because they're paying a wage and they might be providing really good benefits and a whole range of different things, that somehow this derives respect. They are owed respect because they've provided this person with a job and given them the opportunity to work with them. And no one is owed respect. No one. Respect comes when we demonstrate respect. If we are respectful to our team, if we look after our team will, I promise you, will come back and give you bucket loads of respect because they feel rewarded and it will come back to you in bucket loads. It is a giver's gain approach. When you give, when you are generous, then generosity will flow back. And the message from the Dead Poets Society is to just constantly look after people. I truly believe that people do not act in a destructive, bad way unless they feel like they are not being respected, unless they feel like they are being treated badly. I see on a regular basis leaders who unintentionally will treat some people as favourites. They'll give special treatment to certain people. They'll tolerate really poor behaviour from certain people. And then they will turn on the people who are critical of the leader for being unfair. And yet they created this environment. They are responsible for this toxic environment because they have not been fair. They've not been supportive. There are not clear boundaries. There can be a whole range of different things that can be going on. If there's not clarity, if there's no respect, if there are no processes and procedures in place, then people start to feel unsafe and they respond to that. But in the journey of Dead Poets Society, we saw this inspirational teacher who knew where he was going. He took his students with him. Now I know that they ended up in all sorts of different worlds of pain, but the leadership was never poor, except that he had come in as an outsider in a world that didn't recognise that style of leadership. They didn't support it. And so he was, cut down because he dared to do something different. But the children, the teenage boys, always recognised that what he gave them was true leadership. And that was why at the end of the movie they come up with Captain, My Captain, because they had so much respect for him. And every leader I've ever met wants to be respected, and they often feel like they're not being respected, and they think that it's because of their team, and their team owe them the respect. That's not the case. If you want people to respect you, then you have to respect your team first. You have to respect their skills, you have to respect their capacity to do a good job, you have to respect their need to have time out and to look after themselves. You need to not set them up by giving them inadequate training or the tools to do a job. If you want somebody to do a job a certain way, then make sure that they've had the adequate training to do that job and they've got the resources to do it as well. It's really hard to do a job effectively if you're not getting adequate training to do the job. And we often make assumptions that because somebody's done this job before in a different place, or they've done this for a number of years, that they're always on top of their work. But if something new comes into the scene or something else happens, that somebody new and they've got to nurture this new person, suddenly the rules can change quite dramatically. So provide adequate training, provide adequate resources, say thank you, anticipate that mistakes are going to happen and accept that that's okay and that people don't make mistakes on purpose. Provide them with an opportunity to fix the mistake and to get back on the bike, and look after people. Really, truly look after people. And when we do that, we get really good outcomes. I am always available if you want to discuss this with me, to book in for a strategy session if you need some help to get your any managers that you're working with who might need some help to start seeing the world in a more positive light, or if you yourself would like some assistance to stop feeling so scared about leading, because it is a really difficult job. It's hard to lead a team. So if you want any support with any of that, please let me know. Just contact me via email or phone. And it's a short, sharp and shiny one this week. There's been a bit of knocking in the background. I've got Nick, who's this wonderful handyman here doing some great work. And I said, just keep going. It'll be fine. All right, well, thank you so much for your time today, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.